Well, hello there my little goldies, and welcome back to another video. So today's video is going to be a crochet and gab. It's been a while since I've done one of these, and let me just show you what I am working on. I'm sitting in my comfy chair underneath my panda blanket like usual. Anyway, here is what I'm working on. It's a blanket, and it's a very colorful one. So I've gotten quite a bit done on it. It's still got a long way to go before being done, but look at all those pretty colors. So it's very colorful. I'm doing 4 stripes of each color, alternating between single and double crochets, and then every 5 rows I'm putting some white on there just to kind of break it up a little bit. But anyway, so that's what we're doing. So I thought we would go ahead and work on this today and just chat a little bit. And I'm going to just move this camera down just a little bit so we can look at my hands a little bit more. Because I like to try to film my hands while I'm doing this. But so anyway, I'm just trying to get this adjusted. There we go. So anyway, like I said, I thought I would just go ahead and do some crochet and chat with you guys today. And I know it's been a couple weeks since I've actually put up a video. The last one I put up was the where I was brushing the goldies, and so I've been a little bit busy since then. Let me just kind of tell you what's been going on. You know, always Lions Club stuff going on. You know, that's always a given. But I got my new spinning wheel. If you've been watching my channel, you saw my little craft haul with some fibers I bought, some wool I bought to spin up, and some other stuff, some knitting and crocheting goodies. So anyway, I got this in the mail, or actually the FedEx guy dropped it off last week. And so I've been pretty much in spinner's land, aka hibernation, to try to get the hang of this thing. Yeah, so it's been quite interesting. It's definitely a learning curve, let me tell you. So I've been just trying to practice and practice, and I'm getting better. But it's like anything else. It's a learned skill, and you're gonna have some epic fails before you actually have some successes. So I've been just doing that. I'm trying to get over my, if you watched my haul, of course, I mentioned that I had a chest cold for the whole month of December pretty much, and then I pretty much got over that, and then I hurt my ribs when I was cleaning up in our walk-in closet. I kind of bent over, and I dropped a skein of yarn, and I bent over, and I just stretched like really hard, you know, and I felt something just kind of pop, and ooh. So I think I pulled a muscle like in my rib cage area. So that was not fun. It's getting better, but it still hurts. Yeah, so I'm trying to get over that. And it's better. I can at least lay on my right side now, so that's good. But anyway, I thought I would just go ahead and talk a little bit about really just kind of what's been going on here. So the color I'm using right now is this purple, as you guys can see. Using that purple. You know, just some things I've noticed. Just, I guess especially in YouTube land, like not really with the coloring. I've actually been totally out of sync with the coloring. I'm not gonna lie about that. I've been just totally out of sync with the coloring. I did watch a couple of videos, but I don't know. It's like it's weird. Like I kind of go back and forth between things. Like I will color up a storm, and then I'll put that aside for a little bit, and then I'll crochet, and then I will attempt to knit. I say attempt. I mean, I can knit, but my knitting skills are not what my crochet skills are. So I'll do that, or then I'll get the writing bug, and so I'll put that aside, and I'll write on my stories like crazy, which when I took that long break from YouTube, that's pretty much what I've been doing, is writing on my stories. You guys will see in the description section of the video the link where I have my blog where I write my Sims stories on, and so I've been doing that during the time that I took the break from YouTube. And the reason I took the break from YouTube is because, well, you know, I hadn't been coloring, I hadn't gotten any new coloring stuff, and I hadn't really been coloring with what I have, and so I really didn't have anything to shoot. I mean, I could have done a color and gab, but I wasn't feeling it, and I kind of feel like if I'm not feeling it, you guys are going to notice, and then it's going to detract from the quality of the work that I normally try to put out. So I figured instead of just putting up some subpar content and just kind of doing it like half-assed, I decided that I would just kind of leave it for the time being. So I will get back into the coloring because I was actually, the other day, I was actually looking through my carts of coloring stuff. And yes, I say carts because I have like 3 or 4 of those like wheelie carts, like, you know, that you get from IKEA or Michael's or whatever. And so I've been looking at that the other day and thinking, okay, you know, there's some stuff on here that I really should be coloring. So I will start to do that again. It's just, I've been just so out of sync lately with it. And because of that, I mean, I know you guys like my hauls and stuff, but since I haven't been coloring, like, I didn't feel right about getting, you know, about adding anything new. And, you know, I've only got limited space here too, so I've been, you know, just, as I said, just totally out of sync with the coloring. And because I haven't really been coloring, I haven't added anything new. Because I really need to use what I have here, to be honest. And I have a lot here, to be honest. I have much here, to be honest. So I really need to work on what I have here instead of adding anything new. That's not to say that I won't. It's just, I don't think my hauls are going to be, as far as that goes, I don't think my hauls are going to be as big as what they used to be in that department. Now, I'll still be showing, now let me just kind of give you guys an update on what's going to be going on with the channel as well. I'll still be showing some fountain pen and journal related stuff, and of course planner stuff. I want to do some more, I want to do more with the planner stuff and the journaling stuff. You're also going to be seeing a lot more yarn related stuff, spinning stuff. So I'm going to be doing not just coloring on the channel, but I'm going to be doing some other things here too. You're probably going to be seeing some new intros on my channel because with the different topics, you know, with the yarn topics, and underneath that umbrella is going to be the crocheting and knitting and definitely the spinning, because we'll do some spin and gabs, and I'll kind of show you my journey with that. So that's going to be under that big umbrella. So you'll be seeing some intros for that. You'll be seeing intros for hauls. You'll be seeing the intros for the coloring stuff. So as you click on the video, you're going to be seeing what the video is going to be pertaining to, not only with the title, but with the intro. So if you're here for the coloring stuff, great. But if you want to see some yarn related stuff, awesome. You'll know that video is going to be yarn related. You will also know when a video is going to be journal or fountain pen related or planner related by the intro and of course by the title. And speaking of YouTube, I'm sure you guys are all aware that they are cracking down on the kids stuff, I guess, like the videos that's made for kids. If you're a YouTuber, you actually have to set your channel to say for kids or not for kids, or you can do it by each individual video. You can do it by each individual video, but I guess what was going on, and boy, they were talking about this. Now, okay, I watch a lot of different YouTube stuff, you know, not only the coloring, but I watch planner, journal, you know, I watch anything that interests me. I watch Sims related stuff. But I wondered upon a community for doll collectors, and that's another story. But I wondered upon some channels that are related to doll collecting, like American Girl, and I guess what people are going nutso over now are reborn babies, and those are dolls that are painted by artists that are made to look very, very realistic, like, you know, like a newborn baby or a 3-month-old baby or whatever. And so people collect those and they'll show them on their channels, and they'll, you know, what's really cool about them is they can wear baby clothes. They can wear like regular baby clothes. So these people that have these dolls will get on there and they'll change the babies into a different outfit or whatever, and they'll just kind of chat, you know, kind of like what I'm doing here, except they're changing the babies and chatting, and here I'm crocheting and chatting. But anyway, they were talking about, and this is how I figured what was going on as far as YouTube's stance on, I guess, made for kid videos. But because they are doll collectors, you know, you think, okay, dolls, kids, you know, little girls, whatever. There's boys who play with dolls, you know, there's guys too that collect dolls. But I was watching a couple of videos in relation to that. Now, how I wondered upon it was because I was actually watching some Cabbage Patch Kids stuff, and then I wondered upon this other stuff. But anyway, they were talking about how, okay, you know, when you're collecting dolls, you know, people think, okay, it's toys, it's kids, whatever. So there were some upset people thinking, oh gosh, you know, I don't know what I'm going to do with my channel, because being that it's a doll related channel, it's going to be assumed that it's going to be made for kids. Well, the reason why people are upset that about the changes is because if you have a made for kids channel or a video that's made for kids, you're going to be losing a lot of features on there. Like, you're not going to be able to leave comments on that video. Comments are turned off. If you're subscribed to that channel, it's not going to, a kid's video is not going to show up in your feed, in your subscription feed, to be able to watch that video. You're not going to be able to put a like, I don't think, on that video. I may be wrong about that, so don't quote me on that. But basically, the kids' videos, you're going to be losing a lot of views on those videos, because it's not going to show up in the subscription feed, and you're not going to be able to leave comments on the video. And oh, there goes my yarn. Well, I'll just leave it down there. And people are upset because it's gonna affect their view counts and stuff. Yeah, it's gonna affect their view counts and stuff. And so what? So I don't know. I think that went into effect around January 1st. I hope you guys can see that. I think that went into effect around January 1st. And my watch is going off because there's some stuff going on with my messenger. I need to do something with those notifications on there so I don't get this on the watch, because sometimes I don't want to see that. So people have had to kind of redo how, I guess, they do things on their channels sometimes. Because sometimes, and I think there's bots, and I talk about the bots, like especially if I'm singing something, but I think there's bots that go around to the different channels or on the channels, and if they figure that the material on a particular video is geared toward kids, that they shut the features off for that video, like the commenting and the not showing up in the feeds and stuff. So people have been really upset, you know, especially like in communities like doll collecting, because when, you know, you talk about dolls, you're automatically assuming that it's a kids channel. I don't know if that's happened in the coloring book world, because like I said, I've been just really out of the loop with that. So I know on Lisa's Coloring Corner, hi Lisa, if you're watching, I noticed that she has an intro up, and she specifically put in that intro that it is an adult coloring and chat channel and an adult diamond painting channel to help relieve stress and anxiety and stuff. So yeah, I'm sure that maybe, you know, because we're talking, okay, coloring books, okay, it's a kid's activity. So I'm sure a lot of folks, you know, maybe not, might have run into the situation where a video was marked as a made for kids thing. I don't know. So I guess my suggestion for those of you that may not know about this or haven't heard about this, if you are a YouTuber, make sure that you set your channel to not made for kids, because otherwise you're going to lose features on your videos. If you have it set for kids, that's great. You know, that's your, you know, that's up to you. But if you don't want it made for kids, and if you're finding that your videos are not showing up in people's subscription feeds, and if the comments and stuff are turned off, that's probably why. So you need to go in there under your settings and click not made for kids if your content isn't geared toward kids. So yeah, I know adult toy collectors have run into this as well, because there's people that I've watched where they've got some like vintage 80s toys and they talk about those, or they'll do a review on something as an adult, and it may not necessarily be geared toward kids, and it's been marked as a kids video because, you know, toys, kids. And we could run into this with the coloring stuff too, you know, coloring books, kids, you know, because kids color, adults don't color. Well, I mean, it's being more acceptable now, but I think you kind of get my meaning, you know. And they've run into this in the doll collecting world too. So yeah, it's quite interesting. It's like, and I think how it came about was, I think there were some channels where they were, I guess, supposedly making videos for kids, and then they've had some content up that wasn't kid appropriate, and so there've been some stuff going around about that, or, you know, how do I put it? Because that's happened, there's been some people that were complaining and upset and stuff, and so forth, and you know, that, oh, I don't want my kids seeing this. Well, you need to monitor what your kids are watching, number one. But number two, it's like, you know, there's always something going on. When you think you're sitting pretty, you know, when you think that you're just kind of going along and everything's going good, you know, then something happens and changes are made, and it kind of upsets the balance of things. But I went in and I set my entire channel to not made for kids, and that's what I did. And on the new intros that you're going to be seeing, I'm going to be making a point of saying that, you know, my videos are not geared toward kids, that this is a stress relieving, relaxing activity that, you know, for adults, and that, you know, the chatting is adult, you know, topics, you know, not that it's like, now sometimes, like, when you think, okay, adult topics or whatever, you think, okay, raunchy stuff. No, that's not the case. But my channel is not, you know, necessarily a kid's channel. Now I do try to keep it family friendly, you know, I try not to cuss on here and so forth, but, you know, that's not to say that during one of my chats, it's not to say that I won't talk about, you know, a sensitive issue or something like that, but, I try to keep things pretty tame here. you know, just kind of the run-of-the-mill, just chit-chat, you know, but I wanted to make you guys aware, in case you guys haven't heard, I wanted to make you guys aware that that is going on, that, that they're really cracking down on the material for kids. And if you have something that is made for kids, or if you have a made for kids channel, you're going to lose a lot of your features. So be aware of that. Okay, so, but yeah, YouTube is getting very weird as far as that goes. I can kind of understand it, but I don't know. I got mixed feelings about it. I got mixed feelings about it. So not only is YouTube getting weird, but I was on, and this was some months back, but another place that's getting really weird is the Sims forums. And I'm going to go ahead and talk about this on my video, because you know what? I don't owe EA anything. I'm not obligated to Electronic Arts. That's the people that make the Sims games. I'm not obligated to Electronic Arts. I'm not affiliated with them. I'm not one of their game changers or anything, so I can say my piece. And not have to worry about upsetting the powers that be. Well, I mean, I guess I could upset the powers that be, but you know what? Like, I pay for my Sims expansion packs, and, you know, I don't have anything given to me for free for, you know, to review that, as far as that goes. So I can say my piece about this and not have to worry, really. I may get some backlash, but that is okay. That's happened. But anyway, like I said, another place that is getting really weird is the Sims forums. And this is on the Sims website, where they have some forums where you can talk about the game, and like if you can get tech support, like if you're having problems and so forth. And this is where you get the latest news about what's going on, you know, blah, blah, blah. There's also a creator section where you can post about the stories you write, or you can join in discussions about writing and you know, different creative things, and you know, in terms of that. Well, the game is rated T for teen. Okay, so they've started cracking down on stories that have sensitive issues, or that have swearing, or that have, like I said, sensitive issues, you know, things that are more adult related instead of kiddie related. Now, I don't post any of my stories on the forums itself. Like, I've posted links to them before. And I have my own blog where I write the stories. I don't post any of the actual content on the forums. But what happened was, there are a few of us that got together, and this girl created a forum thread for story discussion. That's another thing that we've had is quote unquote book discussions, where you know, there's a group of us that get together, and we have a discussion group, and talk about each other's stories. Well, what happened was, we were going along pretty good for, I don't know, a couple of days or whatever, and then one of the EA moderators came on and said, well, we need to look at your stories before we can allow you to post anything about them here. And so we got kind of upset, because there weren't any of the other threads that were being policed like that. And let me tell you, there were, I think they've started cracking down on it now, but there were a lot of other threads where they had stories that had dark content, or, you know, a lot more kind of intense than my stories got. Now, my stories could get pretty intense, but some of the other stories that I've read, and let me tell you, I've read some pretty intense stories. But anyway, so we got upset because we were being targeted, or so we felt. And so, you know, we made a stink about it, and they came back on and said, well, keep discussing the stories, blah, 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 but we need to check them out, and then we'll let you know if whatever. So we got into the discussion. We got off the forums, and we went somewhere else, and we started discussing, you know, what are our options, because if they're going to be policing us like this, we need to find a different place to discuss our stories. So anyway, a couple days later, they came back on, and they're like, well, everything's okay, just don't post actual content on the thread, blah, 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 but you can keep discussing the stories, da, 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 da. Well, then, the owner of the group, you know, the woman that created the thread, she got a private message, and she sent it to all of us, and it was from the EA moderator. And it says, well, and they were picking apart the stories, and they're saying, well, this one has too much cussing, this one has too much sexual content, this one has too much violence, this one, you know, you're going to have to take them down. Now, keep in mind that we have our stories on our own blogs. The blogs are our property. The Sims we make are our property. The content that we write is our property. We don't post it on their forums. So, and so they, you know, they were demanding that we take the stuff down off of our individual blogs. And we got very upset about that. And so we said, oh, heck no. No, 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 no. So we requested that they take down the thread, and so the EA moderator came back and says, oh, well, we're upset that you asked us to take down the thread. We didn't want to impede on your discussion, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, so it's like they're saying one thing on the thread, but they're saying another thing in the private messages and demanding that we take down our content. You know, because it's too, you know, because it's too, what do you call it? It's too violent, it's too adult for the rating that they intended the actual game to be, okay? And we're using the game, you know, we're using the game to take the screenshots of our characters and to support the story. But because they deemed the stories like too dark or too adult related, they wanted us to take it down because, you know, we were taking pictures in the Sims game to support our story. So anyway, we decided to shut down the thread and move to a different server where we could discuss our stories. So I used to be kind of, I won't say very active on the forums, but I haven't really been on the Sims forums too much recently because I still have a bad taste in my mouth about that. And honestly, like my stories are pretty tame in comparison to what I have read in other places, and I'm not saying that you know, that it's bad or anything, but you know, if that's what you know, if that's the content you want to write, you know, you need to be creative in the way that you feel is best to be creative, and I will do so in my own right. But we didn't like the fact that we felt targeted, and I think now because we made such a stink about it, I think they're really cracking down on these other threads. So it's really hard to actually have a story discussion on the Sims forums itself if your story isn't a kitty related story. You know? So I've decided to kind of not be as active on the Sims forums because my stories don't fit into what they think should be discussed. So, oh joy. Which kind of sucks because, you know, that was a way that a lot of us promoted our stories. You know, when we'd have a chapter or something up, that's how we would promote our stories, is on the Sims forums. And, you know, there's also Facebook and Twitter and stuff, and that's great. But that was a way that we promoted our stories, was on the forums, and because they're making a stink about that we have, you know, adult-related content or sensitive issues in our stories, we can't do that anymore. So yeah, that happened, oh my gosh, I want to say like last October. Alright guys, sorry about that. We're back. I'm trying to adjust my camera just a little bit because I think I was out of frame for some of this. But, and my camera decided to shut off. I should have kept track of the time, but it shuts off like every 29 minutes because, yeah, it shuts off like every 29 minutes. And so I was kind of yammering and I lost, I thought I was recording and I wasn't. But so anyway, just to kind of sum up what I was talking about. So I haven't been active on the Sims forums because of that, because I still have that bad taste in my mouth, and I don't like how I don't like how we were targeted, and then I mean, I think they're cracking down on everybody else too, but I just didn't like how, you know, they demanded that we take our content down off of our blogs. But yeah, anyway, so that's kind of what went on there. But anyway, I was also talking about just, you know, different things that I want to do on the channel. I do have some very nice things coming up, I hope. I hope you guys will think so. So, like I said, you're going to be seeing more yarn related stuff, and so we're going to be doing some spinning, and I'll show you, you know, different things related to that. Still practicing, still got a long way to go before I get any good at it. But I am working on it. And we're going to be doing some more of these crochet and gabs and so forth, and possibly some knitting. And hopefully it won't turn into a big frog on camera, which sometimes will happen to me. Because, like I said, my knitting skills are not what my crochet skills are. I will have some planner related stuff too. I do want to show you guys my planner setup, which it's kind of fallen, like, I don't have it totally set up yet. I've been busy with other stuff, and I usually have something set up by now, but I need to finish up, and then I'll show you the setup, because I did change a few things since the last setup video I did, which was, gosh, I don't know, earlier last year. Like I said, I took that, you guys know I took that break from YouTube and hadn't uploaded in a while. So we're going to be seeing that. We'll do some more planner related stuff, and also some more fountain pen related stuff too, because and journal stuff as well, because I do want to make a video and show you guys my current journals, and I want to do from time to time showing you the current fountain pens I have inked up, because I rotate them out quite a bit. Like when one runs out of ink, like I'll clean it out and I'll put it back in my case, and then I'll have something else, and so forth, and that. So, and I do have a few journals that I use at a given time. So I want to show you guys my current journals, and I gotta chain and turn. So I will show you that. Let's see, I am on row 3 with this now. So I'm doing 4 rows of each color. Doing 4 rows of each color. So anyway, what has been going on with you guys? Have you guys been doing anything special? Hope you guys had a really nice holiday season. We did. It was pretty quiet, you know. We didn't go anywhere. I think I told you about that in another video when I did a haul or something. But yeah, we didn't do much. Let's see. I want to make sure that I got the right stitch in the right place. This particular pattern, like, it's easy to kind of lose track of, because you can, like, if you're not paying attention, you can do like 2 single crochets or 2 double crochets or whatever, which I'm a little off with this particular blanket, because I didn't chain enough stitches. I should have chained like 1 more, but that's okay. This blanket I think I'm gonna keep, so I'm not too worried about it. Anyway, I hope you guys are having an awesome start of 2020. That's so funny to say, isn't it? 2020. Every time I say 2020, I think of that news show that used to be on. Was it Barbara Walters, I think, that hosted that? I think it was. Yeah, I think it was Barbara Walters. But anyway, I've also been talking about how I'm collecting the fur from Caleb and Alex because I'm planning to spin it into some yarn to make some nice stuff out of it. So I'm collecting the fur. I haven't started to spin anything in terms of that because I want to get better before I do. I could practice with Alex's fur because I know there's plenty more where that came from. I'm kind of miserly with Caleb's because he you know, he's an old boy and he's not going to be here as long as Alex is, so I have to make sure that what I get that I don't ruin. That makes me sad to talk about, and I don't want to start crying on camera because, you know, it makes me sad. He's having a hard time with his hips, poor guy. Poor guy, he's having a hard time with his hips, so that makes me sad. What else to say? What else to say? So, I'm gonna get my acrylics put back on probably either the end of the week, maybe over the weekend, or probably over the weekend. You notice that I don't have them on yet. When I got sick, like, I kind of neglected them, and so I had a lot of lifting and some breakage and stuff, and so I don't have them on right now because I didn't go back in for a fill-in when I should have. I didn't want to go out in the cold weather, you know, feeling pukey. Well, I mean, I wasn't feeling pukey, but I was feeling puny. Puny. That's the right word, was puny. So anyway, I had a lot of lifting, a lot of breakage, and so I don't have them on right now, but I'm gonna be remedying that. And then I have a hair appointment Monday because I need it. It's been a while. I need it. Today is Thursday the 16th. So we have Lions Club meeting tonight. I don't know when this is going to go up. This is probably going to go up like over the weekend because I have another couple of videos that I'm uploading first. So I'm trying to pre-record stuff, that way I have things for you guys to watch. But I am recording this on Thursday, January 16th. We don't have much going on over the weekend, which is a good thing. It's always nice to have a relaxing weekend because there's times where there's so much going on that we don't get any time to breathe. Well, actually, I have rehearsal on Sunday. Our choral group has rehearsal on Sunday, so I do have to go to that. But that's about it. I think that's about it, because the only thing next week that I know of that we got going on is I have my hair appointment. I think John may have a meeting or two to go to, but I think it's pretty light right now, which is good. So yeah, what are you guys up to? Are you reading anything special? I actually just got done rereading the entire Harry Potter series. I do that like every year or maybe every couple of years. So I just got done, and I have the audiobooks for it. I do have the audiobooks for it. So I just got done doing that. I finished that up, I want to say yesterday. No, actually I was supposed to get it done. I was gonna get it done last night, but I fell asleep during the last part of it. So I finished it up this morning, and heck, I even read Quidditch Through the Ages. Yay, go me. Quidditch Through the Ages. But yeah, that was quite interesting. I don't know what I'm going to read next. To be honest, I don't have anything new, to be honest. So I need to search for, I got a whole list of like to read books. Like I have a whole list of books that I need to read. And I have those on my NLS National Library Service. I have those on my talking book player. That's what you get when that's what you get for free from the government when you're visually impaired and you qualify for the program. You can download books onto that. So I have quite a lot on that thing that I need to read. I actually got teased one time because their library service, like they keep track of like what you download and when you download it and stuff. And this was a few years back, but when I got the digital player, because it used to be all on cassette tapes, but when I got the digital player, I started downloading like crazy, and I keep my downloaded books on a external hard drive. And then as I finish the book, then I'll just get rid of it. Like I'll get rid of it off the machine, and I'll get rid of it off the hard drive, unless it's one I want to keep around, like if I think I'm going to reread it or something. But so I have it all sorted into folders, set by author or by series. Sometimes I'll do it by series, and I will have that on there. I'll have that on there. And then as I need to put new books on there, I'll just take it from the hard drive and I'll copy it from the external hard drive and over to the thumb drive that I have plugged into my machine. Like I'll take the thumb drive out, put the new books on there, and then plug it back into the reader. I have the big reader, and then I have what's called a Victor Reader Stream, and I got the old model. There's a couple of new ones that's come out since mine, and that one takes an SD card. So pretty much the same thing. You can take the SD card out, and then you can load the books onto that. So that one I'll use like for traveling, and then the big reader I use for home because it's got a better speaker on it. The Victor Reader, I'll usually plug in a headphones or something for that. Or I'll plug it into my stereo. But the big reader, it's like a big old heavy duty player, and it's very sturdy, because if you drop it, they wanted to give you something that, like, if you drop it, it's not going to break. So they made it very sturdy. And the buttons are very discernible. Like if you're totally blind, you'll be able to feel what's there. So the buttons are very discernible. They're very large. And they got Braille on them as well. But I will put that on my bed and listen to books that way. Because it's a free program, so it makes it nice. It's a free program. But you got to qualify for it. Like you have to be eligible for it. You got to qualify. So I need to find something to read. I'm kind of in a reading slump right now, and I get that way. Like sometimes I just don't know what direction to go in terms of what I want to read next. I think I've read just about every Stephen King book there is out there. Yeah, I like Stephen King, but now Nora Roberts as J.D. Robb is coming out with a new In Death series book. That's the one featuring Eve Dallas, who is a New York homicide cop. So I think there's a new one coming out in February for that, and I have that on pre-order on Audible. Now, I will not pre-order very much on Audible. There's just a few things that I will pre-order on Audible. Usually it's because I like the author and I don't want to wait until the book comes out with NLS, because NLS does not get to have it in their hands before the book actually comes out. So you have to wait a few months before they actually record it and have it available for release. So I tend to get it on Audible because when the print book comes out, usually the Audible comes out at the same time. So I will pre-order on Audible. And I stack up my credits. I get, I have a Audible membership, and so I get 2 credits a month. And so a lot of times I will stack those up, and I'll use that for my pre-order, so I can get the book. Because when it's a new release, the cash amount that they want, the price that they want for it is pretty astronomical. So if I have credits available, I can use the credits and get that without having to pay an arm and a leg for the book, because I've paid for the credits anyway, and it can just go toward a newly released book. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Yeah. So, I had my birthday on January 12th. It was my birthday. So we went out to dinner at Red Lobster. We usually go out to dinner. And I was feeling Red Lobster, so we went to Red Lobster. And before we did that, I was just practicing on my spinning wheel. You guys saw what my spinning wheel looks like in the unboxing. If you have not seen that, go back on my channel and look at that, and you will see what it looks like. It is the Spinolution Polywog. So you can go on my channel and look at the unboxing, because I did that when it arrived. There's not too much else to tell you, honestly, guys. There's really not too much else to say. I'm on the 3rd row of this purple. I have 4 rows of each color that I'm doing, like I said. Oh, and I'm using a size G crochet hook. I don't know if you can see that, but size G crochet hook. It is just an aluminum crochet hook. I didn't bring out any of the new ones I bought with the nice cushiony grip. And I've got a set of clovers as well, but I didn't bring any of that out. I started using my aluminum hook, so that's just what I'm kind of sticking to. That's just what I'm sticking to. And I've actually got a callus on, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to flip you the bird or anything, but I've actually got a little callus on this finger, because that's how I hold my crochet hook, my aluminum one. It kind of rubs up against this knuckle right there. So I got a little callus on my knuckle where my crochet hook rubs. So I always say I have crochet finger because I got a little callus there. But yeah, I have been crocheting like crazy. You know, with being sick and hurting my ribs and stuff, it's hard to move around. And when I was sick, you know, I spent a lot of time in bed. So when I could sit up, I would crochet. So I was able to get 2 afghans done. I got 2 afghans done, and I did a baby blanket for a friend with a new grandson. And I started this afghan here. And then I've also got another one started where it's just a big granny square on the outside, and I'm just adding, you know, the new colors onto it. So I did start that. So I got quite a few things going. Plus, I spun up some yarn, some not very consistent yarn. It's not very, it's rough yarn. It's not very good, but I took it and I'm crocheting, I am using it, like I'm crocheting with it. I'm making a scarf, and it's a it's a scarf that's thicker in places and thinner in places because the yarn isn't very consistent. But, you know, I'm new. I don't know what I'm doing yet. That's what I said in the video when I unboxed the wheel. I don't know what I'm doing yet, so, but I am taking what I'm spinning and crocheting with it. And I'm getting better. I am getting better, no lie. I'm actually pretty good on my drop spindle. I'm actually quite good on my drop spindle. And if you're going to take a spinning class, like that's how they teach you at first, is on a drop spindle, because it goes, It goes it goes a lot slower than what it does on a spinning wheel, and you get more control. At least until you get proficient on your wheel, and then you can control it pretty good. But the drop spindle, that's how they teach you at first, because it's easier to manage. Plus, not everybody who wants to spin can get a spinning wheel. They either can't, or they don't want to, because because of the cost. They're not cheap. And the model that I got is actually the least expensive one from Spinolution. And I mean, it wasn't cheap either. It was like $400, that spinning wheel. The spinning wheel itself was like $419, I want to say, and then I got the little orifice riser to make it appear taller, because it is a short wheel. It's a little wheel. But even that, that's still a chunk of change to fork out for a spinning wheel. So not everybody can get one, and not everybody wants to because of the cost. So you can get a little drop spindle on Amazon for like $15, and you can make perfectly good yarn on that. That's how a lot of people do it. And that's perfectly fine. If that's what you want to do, if that's the only thing you can do, like if you don't want to get a wheel, or if you can't, and if you don't know that the spinning is going to be for you, the drop spindle is great to start off on. It's it's only like maybe $15 on Amazon, and you can get a little kit. If you saw not my latest craft haul video, but the video that I put up where I had quite a few things that I showed, and I showed the little drop spindle kit I got, and it has the drop spindle, it had the directions on how to do it, plus it had some wool that you could work with to be able to do your drop spindling. So if you don't know that it's going to be for you, and if you're not sure if you want to get a wheel, get yourself one of those little drop spindle kits, and or just get a drop spindle by itself, and get some get some inexpensive, like Corriedale or something like that. There's a whole pound of like Corriedale on Amazon that you can get for like 20 or $25. Or you can get one of those kits for, I think it was like 20 or $25 with the spindle and the wool that you could work with, practice with. And if you decide that you like it, and if you want to get a wheel later on down the road, then that's a good way to determine if you think that you're gonna like spinning yarn enough to make that investment. Or if you're just content doing your drop spindle, that's perfectly fine too. There's a lot of people that actually like that a lot better than a wheel. There's a guy that I watch on YouTube, Fiber Spider, I think he goes by, and he was doing a tutorial on drop spindling, and he actually bought a spinning wheel, but he said he loves his drop spindle more than the wheel, because he feels like he gets more control over the fiber with his drop spindle. So, there's, if you want to spin yarn, you don't have to get a wheel. Just get yourself a little drop spindle and learn that way. And that's how many, many, many people do it. That's how I started off. Like I got that little drop spindle kit, and I knew I wanted the wheel though. Like I knew, because yeah, I knew. So I started off on the drop spindle, and I told the hubs, I said I want to get a spinning wheel. So I got a spinning wheel. And I'm practicing with it, and I'm trying to get consistent, because right now I'm very much a beginner. But yeah. But it's like crocheting, it's like knitting, it's like anything else. You gotta learn, you gotta practice. before you get any good at it. And try not to get frustrated with yourself, because it is a learning curve and it takes time. It takes time and practice and dedication and patience, and yeah. Oh, another thing that I wanted to say about it too is when you're starting off as a beginner, you're going to have a bit of waste like in your wool, because you're going to have a lot of over twisting. You're going to have times where it's not twisted enough. And what happened with me is I had so much over twisting with some of what I did that it was just pretty much unusable. I mean, it was just so bad. It was so bad. It was breaking off, and it got knotted up, and it was just bad, 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 bad. So I know it's a casualty of war, like when you're learning, like it's a learning process, and you're gonna have collateral damage with your wool. So just be prepared for that, you know, because that's what happened to me. Like I had stuff that was unusable. I had stuff that I could use, but I had quite a bit that was just unusable because it was just so over twisted and just so knotted up that it just, yeah, it wasn't cool. But it made me sad because I hate waste. I mean, I knew it was going to happen, and I knew that I was going to be far, far, far from having any kind of a semblance of any kind of consistent yarn. But I hate waste. I mean, I knew it was going to happen, but I still hate waste. Still hate waste. And it made me very sad that I had to chuck some of my wool because it was just unusable. But the small comfort of it was, though, when you're practicing, get something inexpensive. You know, don't get like anything luxurious to practice with, because you will be very, very sad. So I did, you know, the stuff that did get chucked in the bin was pretty inexpensive stuff. And I do have some pretty good quality stuff that I bought off of Etsy. You know, just go back and look on my channel. You'll see the fiber haul I did. But I do have some pretty luxurious stuff. You know, stuff to graduate up into, you know, once I get decent at it. But I'm not going to touch it until I am actually decent at it, because I don't want to bork it up. So if you're going to bork up something that's inexpensive, because then you're not going to feel so bad when some of it when it becomes collateral damage. But then when you graduate, when you become more efficient at it, when you become more comfortable, more proficient, then you can graduate to your better stuff. It's like anything else, you know. Like when you're learning to crochet or learning to knit, don't practice like with, say, alpaca. Practice with, get you some Red Heart Super Saver, get you some acrylic yarn, and practice that way. Because you'll find, I think especially for knitting, you'll find that the more you go, the more you try to practice with it, your yarn is going to split. And you'll have to trim it up, and you'll have to throw some of it out. Especially if it frays, you know, especially if it splits on you. But crocheting, like when you're learning to crochet, it's quite a bit more forgiving, like to rip it out, than knitting is, because when you rip knitting out, you have to go back and put it back on the needles, and that can be a pain. That can be a real pain. But crocheting is a bit more forgiving, but it's like anything else when you're learning something new. Start off with inexpensive stuff, and then you can graduate to some better quality stuff as you become better at the skill. And I am almost done with this row. I'm actually almost halfway through. So I think we'll spend a few more minutes here, and then I'm going to stop the video, or yeah, I'll go ahead and end the video in a couple of minutes. Because I'm just about done with this purple. And I think we've chatted quite a while. So anyway, I do hope that you guys enjoyed this video, this Crochet and Gab. And we will be doing more. And I'll make another video where I'm showing what I'm working on as well as what I actually did get done. And I got to rip that stitch out because something happened. I will be showing that, like what I'm working on and what I actually got done. So look for the current journal videos, look for the planner videos, look for fountain pen stuff. We'll do some more yarn goodness, and we will get back into the coloring. Like I said, we will do that. But I wanted to tell you guys that we're gonna be having other stuff on the channel other than coloring. So it's gonna be spread out a little bit, and you'll know what's gonna be on here. You'll know what's gonna be on here in terms of the intros and the titles too. Yep. So, I think that is going to cover it. Let's see, what did I do here? I think that's going to cover it, and I think... See, I'm losing concentration here. I'm putting the stitches in the wrong place. Yeah. Okay, here's the double. Anyway, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Hit the like button, and I think I'm out of frame. Hit the like button, leave a comment, and tell me what you think. If you have not done so, subscribe to this channel so you can watch new videos, and hit the bell so you can be notified when new videos come along. And you all have a great day. And we will talk to you in the next video. Okay? Bye, my little goldies. Bye.